Let's find out what grooming gang survivor Ellie Reynolds thinks. Welcome to the show again, Ellie. Always a pleasure to have you on. Everything that I just said must really annoy you.
Do you know, it's not even the annoying anymore. It's the kind of holding your hands in the air going, hello, like we're here in our own country.
Yeah, and I mean, as I say, you've got to be slightly careful because these 7 guys who appeared in Bristol Magistrates Court today, all of them of foreign heritage, allegedly persecuted and tortured these 11 young girls. All of these guys appeared in court. They haven't entered their plea yet, so as things stand, we have to say alleged. But it does, this is Somerset. And when I heard this, I thought, well, there is an indication that this, this idea that it's just Rochdale or Barrow where you're from, or Rotherham, or all these places in the north, it's not. It's happening all over the country, including London, right?
Yeah, I think what people need to be educated on is the fact that it's not just your towns that you hear of, like Rochdale, Rotherham. It literally does happen everywhere, whether it's a small town, a city, it doesn't matter. It is countrywide. It's been a problem for many, many years, and because they're getting away with it, and they've got away with it for so long, it's becoming a problem. It's a problem that's going to end up international if we don't fix it now.
Yeah, and when you say international, I mean, that £19 million we've sent to Pakistan to sort out or to deal with their problem with child sex exploitation. I feel very sorry for the victims of that, the kids over there in Pakistan. But wouldn't the £19 million, can't they deal with their own problems? And that £19 million should be going towards the victims of child exploitation here, towards getting to grips with this ongoing scandal.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, the girls and potentially boys over in Pakistan, you really do hope that they get the justice. But I think it's an absolute storm at the minute that our country can't even sort its own children out. 19 million, yet the girls that resigned from the panel, including myself, we've not heard a word from Keir Starmer, and we asked to meet him last week. Why can't you meet the girls in your own country, but you're happy to send 19 million to another? There's victims and survivors in this country, and what was it, approximately 250,000? It needs to stop, and it needs to, honestly, it's frustrated me today.
Yeah, and how are you feeling about this? Because there still seems to be, we all know it's going on. Talk to any copper, talk to any sort of local social worker, local politician. Everybody knows this is still happening, particularly here in London. And yet, once again, we see the authorities, you must be noticing this, and it must be like a kind of horrible deja vu experience for you. The authorities seem to sort of want to stick their fingers in their ears and cover their eyes and act like it's not happening. We're not getting to grips with this, are we?
No, I think we're so used to it. We've watched it unfold for years and years where they've not been interested, but I kind of look at it now and I hope that the country is looking at what's being done in front of us. I hope that now the people of our country can realise what we've had to endure, not just from our abuse, but from authorities, services, because they've never, ever succeeded in supporting us. They're only supporting us lately a lot because there's pressure on them. They have to support us. There's been mass pressure. I think it's disgusting.
And you said just now, Ellie, that you tried to get in touch with Keir Starmer last week. You tried to organise a meeting with him. Presumably, that was for you to try, maybe with your friend Fiona that we met last week, to try to sort out or work out with Starmer exactly what's going on with this public inquiry that never seems to happen, that tried to change the remit so that they didn't point the finger at the kind of guys who persecuted you. We're talking about Muslim men of Pakistani heritage. The government doesn't really want to sort of make those kind of people look bad. So was that why you wanted to see Starmer, to find out what's happening?
Yeah, we asked to meet up with him. One, for exactly the reasons that you've just said. Two, because he has met with all high-profile cases like the post office, the contaminated blood. Why can't he put 5 minutes of time into people that have been gang raped and tortured in his country? And I say that lightly.
You don't say that lightly, I don't think. And have you heard back from him? Did he respond? I mean, what's happened?
No, he's not responded. He gave us a very half-hearted letter when we first sent the first one out. After asking to meet with him, I asked other people today that had resigned from the panel if they've heard anything, and nobody's heard a thing. So this is now, what, a week?
So you girls who resigned from the panel, I think there were 4 of you, weren't there, in the end? You, Fiona, that we met last week, and a couple more. What you're trying to do, when you said you tried to get in touch with Starmer last week to try to organise a meeting, what you're trying to do is to try to sort this mess out. You've quit because you don't like what the government was doing or what the remit of this inquiry seemed to be turning out to be, which was they wanted to widen it so that they didn't point the finger at Muslim men of Pakistani heritage. You didn't like that. So that's why you quit. Presumably you're getting back in touch with Starmer to say, listen, we want this inquiry to work. We want to participate. Can we talk about how it's going to get back underway? Was that the kind of idea?
Yeah, pretty much. And because respectfully, I think he needs a harsh reality check of victims sat in front of him, telling him what they've gone through, so he can at least have somewhat of a heart to be able to pull his finger out of his backside and help.
Yeah, exactly right. And you've heard nothing back?
Nothing at all.
And what about the alleged safeguarding minister, Jess Phillips? Have you heard anything from her lately?
Nothing at all. There's not been a thing from Jess Phillips from me personally. I asked to meet with her for over a year and she cancelled every single time. So honestly, I don't even waste my breath on her now because I think you're not even fit for your role. Why would I want to talk to somebody that's not fit to do their job anyway? Because I feel like it would fall on deaf ears. I feel like, to be fair, with the majority of the authorities and services, it does fall on deaf ears. But I think the pressure has been so intense that it's kind of like they're backed into a corner. The public are watching them now and they have to do something.
Except it sounds to me as if what they're trying to do here is once again let it fade into the background, make sure it's not making headlines so nobody's really thinking about it, and then kick the can down the road. That's what it seems to me they're trying to do. They don't like this issue. They never wanted a public inquiry. They were forced into it by Louise Casey's review. Now they've got to have one, but they still don't really want to have one, do they?
No, I agree with that. I think that they have, done a lot of things to get the headlines so the inquiry does fade. I think that, when people are reading this headline to say, Keir Starmer's sent Pakistan 90 million to cover sex abuse, or how great of him, nobody's quite sat on the back burner saying, hold on a minute, what about our own girls and boys in this country? What's happening with them? And it does just give that shadow effect. Like, you fade. The children of our country yet again fading. Why?
Well, look, people like you, Ellie, and Fiona, we met last week, and all the other girls, all the other victims, right? 19 million quid. I think what would be nice, it would probably take more money than that, but, what would be nice would be if the government said, we've got 19 million quid, let's give these poor victims some compensation for the ordeals. They'd be let down by this country, let down by the authorities, let down by coppers, by teachers, by social workers, by local politicians. Let's give them some money, compensation. Instead, they send it to Pakistan. How do you feel about that?
I think the thing for us is that we're not even bothered about the compensation side of it. We're bothered about, all we wanted was a listening ear. All we wanted was support. We went through the worst time possible. All we wanted was help. Yet you're watching our government that, they have a duty to protect us. You're watching them go and blast 19 million on somewhere that's respectfully nothing to do with us. So then we're looking thinking, like, Christ, I only asked you for an ear.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, are you feeling sort of abandoned all over again?
Yeah, I think it's the feeling of abandonment, and it's the feeling of injustice and failure yet again. It's you know, it sounds sad, but it gets to a point where we're used to it. We just think, oh, not again. What do we do now to get listened to? Like, it's not a nice feeling to feel unimportant, especially by people that are meant to, you know, look after you. They've got a duty to protect the country, and our girls and boys that have been subjected to gang rapes by rape gangs, you know, they should be a priority. And at the minute, it's not. It's another country. And like I say, I'm so sorry for the people that have gone through it over there. I really am. But we've got a duty to protect our own first.
I couldn't agree with you more. Well, listen, Ellie, the only good thing about all this is that the victims of this terrible scourge, this terrible scandal, have got people like you to talk for them, because you put your case brilliantly, and I'm proud to know you, and I'm proud that you've become a friend of mine. So, Ellie, thank you for joining us. Ellie Reynolds there, rape gang victim. Hell of a woman, I mean it.